Hi, welcome back. This is a continuation of the 10 characteristics, but I'm going to give you a couple of phrases over the next number of videos here to anchor in the ideas that we're chatting about. And the first phrase I would like to give you is, when you listen, you learn. And what I want to do is unpack the word listen, because I believe that you would go with me on this, that listening is so important to our lives and would be so important to the well-living workplace to be able to get things done. So this idea of listening is something you've got to pay attention to and actually become better at it. I know that there's 7 steps to listening, and they're all integrated like a nested model, or if you remember a Russian doll, a doll inside a doll inside a doll. That's what listening is about, is how to bring all of those together. And we'll have to get to that another time, because I want to share a couple of other really important ideas around listening at this, for this video. And what I'm attempting to get at is, you got 2 ears, 1 mouth. I think that says enough, doesn't it? Another thing to think about from a listening point of view is that you've got to gain the meaning that the person is sharing with you. You're listening to gain that meaning, but then you have to interpret it or comprehend it to be able to give it your meaning and find out, do they come together? That's what listening is about, is listening for the meaning the person's sharing with you, comprehending the meaning that you're giving it to you, and are you bringing it together? Because if there's a difference, then it'll sort of look a little bit like this, and you want to find a way in which to bring it together, then blend it together. That's what listening is about for you. And it becomes so important when you're thinking about, how do I listen to my staff? How do I listen to vendors? How do I listen to my customers, my clients, my family relationships? Listening is so important to what's going on in your life. The other thing about listening is you have to think about the filter that you're using to actually do your listening. Using words like, what are my beliefs? What are my assumptions? Because they influence the listening that you're doing. And I know that another chap by the name of Richard Schultz is doing some work around beliefs, and I would encourage you to go watch his video series as well. But just to bring it back here for us right now, is that these beliefs and assumptions are the way in which you listen. Remember, I talked about gaining the meaning. There's sort of the behind-the-scenes filters that are sort of saying, okay, this is what I'm hearing, and I got to pay attention to this. This is what I'm hearing, and I got to pay attention to that. It's to filter what's coming into you, because there's so much coming at you from a listening point of view. It's sort of like there's so much noise, you've got to sort out the news from that noise, and that's what listening is about. It's the filters that you're going to use. And if you go right back to the very beginning, remember I shared with you about the structure, or what we call the framework, the blueprint. And if you have that in place, then listening is shifted as well, because you now have something to anchor you into. And that's an important piece. So I'd encourage you to go back and re-listen to that first video. Now, the other thing that I would share with you here around listening is, each person that you're listening to has a hierarchy of values. And the more that you can listen into what is the highest value that that person is sharing with you, and you then respond back into that hierarchy of values, into what they value the most, there's a tip, trick, whatever you want to call it, that helps you to engage that person. Because listening is what really leads to the engagement, the person being with you. So I would encourage you to really listen for the values the person is sharing at that point in time. And so they might be talking about their family, the way that they go about doing their work. It might be they're feeling a little distressed about being in their second 50, and how do I do the financial work? And again, there's other videos around that that would be really great for you to look up yourself. But listen for the clues. People are giving you so much. And if you just use your 2 ears and your 1 mouth, it would be awesome. Right? So with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down the second word in the phrase, when you listen, you learn, and we're going to take a look at the word learn.